If you're publishing a book, you may have been thinking about using a book publicist or getting a package of book marketing for authors. Before you do that, there are 5 things I'd like you to consider. The first one is what they're going to do for your basic platform. When you start marketing a book, the most important thing is going to be the book cover and the description of the book, the sales copy that's on the sales page, and also your author bio. So if your marketing or publicist company isn't fixing those things, whatever they do for marketing isn't going to work. So make sure they look at your book cover and recommend or help you to remake it, because if you have an ugly book cover, you can't sell the book. Same thing if they're fixing your author bio or your sales description, your summary. Those things are only about 250 words of text. Now, if they're fixing your author bio or sales description, that's very valuable and it has to be done well, so their expertise and knowledge is of course worth some money. However, you can hire an editor to edit those 250 words far cheaper than most marketing packages, which cost thousands of dollars. So you could really get a new book cover and that stuff edited on Fiverr.com for probably $100. So that's the first thing. The second thing is your author website. Probably they're just going to make a WordPress theme, and if you buy a WordPress theme, it costs about $50 with some plugins. For less than $100, they can make a very nice looking WordPress theme, and it takes about 2 hours. So a lot of author marketing services, they're setting up a website. They usually charge about $1,000 and then have an upsell of maybe $2,000 or $3,000 for a bunch of extra add-ins which are free and don't really take them any extra time. It's worth it to have a nice author website. However, the author website is worthless if you don't have good content on it. So unless they're helping you write the articles or giving you a list of sample topics that you should be writing about, which will bring in traffic to sell the book, that author website on its own, it's not very valuable. It's nice to have one, but you have to send all your own traffic to that website to make the book sales, unless you have high quality articles on the website that are showing up on Google when people search for things. That's what's really bringing in the traffic to sell the book. And if they are setting up an author website, make sure that they've got samples or a portfolio on their site. This is kind of a tricky issue because a lot of small presses or book marketing companies, they do have samples on their website about other websites they've developed, and a lot of them are really ugly. And so that tells you that they're not very good at making author websites. And the reason is because they outsource all the work. So you're paying them thousands of dollars and they'll hire somebody cheap, basically to keep half of it for profit and to give you the website that they promised for less money than you're paying. But they're going to outsource to save money, and if they don't know how to design a good quality website, you're paying too much for something that's not going to sell the book. So make sure they've got samples on their website of the other author websites they've developed. A lot of new book marketing, author marketing, publicity campaign websites, they promise a great deal, but they don't show you any pictures. They don't show you any client testimonials. They don't show you any examples of the work they've done. They just say, we can make you an author website, we'll manage your social media profiles, but you don't really know what you're getting if you can't see it. Another really important thing to consider, and this is the third thing, is looking at their own platform. Almost certainly, they're not going to have the relationships that you need to sell the book, because you need relationships with influencers or bloggers or famous people or other authors in your genre who really know the subject or the genre that you're writing about. If they're just a book marketing or a publicity service, they don't have those kind of relationships, which means they're cold calling. They're going to be contacting the right people based on no relationship and just sending them an email saying, hey, I want to promote this book. You could do that yourself and you'd have just as high of a success rate. The only thing really worth paying for is if a publicity company actually has some high quality relationships, if they've been blogging for a long time, if they have friends who are also big bloggers or have big platforms. It's not enough just to look at their social media profiles, because it's easy to get 50,000, 100,000 followers, which doesn't really mean anything if they're just other authors who are also trying to sell their book. Unless they're readers or they're really people who can help to promote the book, them having a lot of followers doesn't matter. Another thing to consider is whether they're using old media or new media. A lot of publicists will say you need to do stuff like press releases or getting on the radio or TV interviews or even getting a book review in a newspaper. Those things don't really sell books anymore. The way to sell books is to be on big, high traffic blogs, to be on Reddit, to be on reader boards where there's a lot of people, to be on Facebook, and to create viral content that gets shared. If they're not doing those things, if they're focused on old media rather than new media, the things that they do won't really pay out because you won't sell a lot of books. You should also find out how much money they're going to spend on advertising. They can do a lot of things for free, and actually the best marketing is things for free, like posting guest articles on other blogs. But those you can write yourself. They can help you make those relationships or find the right places to put those. But advertising works especially during launch week when you want to sell a lot of copies fast to get to the top of the bestseller lists. Facebook advertising allows you to be very targeted. But if they're only spending a couple $100 on Facebook ads and you're paying them $2,000, they're saving a lot of money just for that budget. So you need to make sure how much money they're going to spend on advertising, whether they're going to do it, because otherwise you could be doing that yourself and doubling the return on your investment if you just put all those funds towards the advertising. Otherwise you're just paying double for somebody else to do it for you. It's really not that hard to learn how to do yourself. Finally, make sure you get a list of what they will produce for you. They might have a list of things like they'll make the author website, they'll set up your social media profiles. Unless they're writing articles or spending a lot of money on advertising, they're not really doing that much. You could pay a lot less to have somebody set up an author website or just a WordPress website. People are kind of overcharging to make you an author website because authors will pay more than regular people would pay for a WordPress site. Personally, there's not much I would pay for a marketer, except that there are some people who have very large platforms and have a lot of online connections. I know that if I submitted my book with them and allowed them to manage things, because of the people that they know, they'd be able to get my articles posted on some high traffic blogs that I wouldn't be able to do by myself. Those are very valuable relationships, so that would be something I would be willing to pay for. Otherwise, if they're just setting up your website, you're probably paying too much.